Hello, Star Wars fans. This is Anditesh Ordo, and today I'm going to be doing a video on Star Wars Episode 1. I have yet to do a review video on Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and I felt like I want to get into, making some reviews on all the movies thus far, and then obviously when Episode, 8 comes out here next week. So I'll do a review on that one, but for the most part, I'm going to do kind of a review on all these. So let's go ahead and get started. So, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I actually am one of the few that that like the movie. Now, yes, there are some quirky parts to it, yada yada, but for the most part, yes, I really loved, it felt like it was building more into the story of Star Wars. It was building, developing characters, it was developing, scenery and environments, and it's great to add more to Star Wars, like we're getting with new movies. Of course, I am someone that is of Legends side and not canon, even though some of the stuff in canon I have been liking, so yeah, I'll get into it. So first off, I will say this though, if it wasn't for George Lucas, right off the bat, if it wasn't for George Lucas, we would not have Star Wars, period. So all those haters out there, you're going to probably keep hating, but it's just going to, promote George Lucas even more. If you've ever heard of, the 10X down, there's always those haters. But, for the most part, really, why do you need to hate on the, these movies? They were still really great movies. Yes, there were some that were better than others, and there were some scenes that, I personally didn't like versus others. But for the most part, I liked it. So, at the beginning, you got the events of the barricading of Naboo, or blockading, not barricading, blockading Naboo. And actually, that was a really good, it was a good story. Yes, I will admit, politics don't make sense in Star Wars, in a sense. But then again, I don't think they want to go high depth into politics, even though they kind of did more in-depth politics during the Clone Wars TV series. And a little bit more in episode 2 and 3, but for the most part, the politics side of all of this, to me, it felt like it kind of didn't make sense, but I'm sure there's a reason to make it make sense. Like, why would a business blockade a planet unless Naboo really owed them, tons and tons of back money or something like that, like they bought some droids and, they didn't want to pay the Trade Federation, then, I could kind of see that in the concept of Star Wars, but for the most part, yeah. But it was a great introduction to, the foe of the clones, kind of the Trade Federation, which becomes separatists later on. And so, but for the most part, it introduced some new characters, some great, some great new characters. And what's interesting is, once everyone escapes, first off, they introduced Obi-Wan Kenobi, the young Obi-Wan Kenobi. Great, it was great that, Ewan McGregor did a great job at being Obi-Wan Kenobi. Liam Neeson also did a great job at Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't see, no faults on those. Qui-Gon Jinn was more of a gray Jedi. It made sense why he was kind of rebelling against the wishes of, the Council of Jedi. But for the most part, they were great. And it was great to actually see, where, the Jedi kind of started, at least Obi-Wan's story. So Obi-Wan's story is fleshed out more in these three, episode 1, 2, and 3. So you get kind of get to see who his master was and how his training was going. So honestly, for the most part, overall, I really like this movie. I will admit, I am someone that did love the pod racing. I felt like it's a big universe. Why not introduce some sports? Like, we got Pazak and Sabak, introduced. Like, Pazak was introduced in KOTOR 1 and 2, and Sabak was introduced in the, during the episode 4, 5, and 6 in the books thereafter. But for the most part, it's great to have some sports being introduced, and pod racing, a dangerous sport. They would be banned on a lot of in a lot of countries in this planet on Earth. Giant jet engines, hovering and then just flying super fast. It would be an insane sport. Like that one, I will admit, not to, be offensive or anything, but a great money maker for some countries like maybe Mexico, Saudi Arabia, or Africa, blah. Man, I'm doing good. Africa, maybe, those countries that have like less restrictions. America, it would be completely banned because they ban almost a lot of stuff, or try to ban a lot of stuff, and that's kind of sad. But for the most part, yeah, pod racing was a great sport to see. I did play episode 1 pod racer, and it was a fun game. But for the most part, yes, Star Wars episode 1, it brought upon, the Star Wars universe, kind of the introduction of what was going on and kind of the events that led up to what happens in episode 4, 5, and 6. We get to see more of how these events happened. Yes, I will admit, it did look new and shinier, and that's because, our technology kind of, gave us that chance. But also, if some people think about it, the Death Star and the Star Destroyers were, high tech, but they were just kind of, had that dark feel because they were the Empire. And, you go to places like Naboo versus Tatooine. Naboo's always going to look more luxurious versus Naboo, which is, Hutt territory. And they're kind of, they have like a dirty luxury or something like that. I don't know what that would be called. a kind of a medieval Renaissance luxury versus, nowadays modern luxury. So yeah, yes, I understand there was, that there was a lot of people that hate the fact that happened. But honestly, it's because of just, the timeline of where they are. And actually, if you really do, connect real world versus Star Wars world, you kind of see, you could make sense of why this, this planet was, more luxurious, more nicer versus, the outer world planets like Tatooine and Nar Shaddaa, etc. So, but overall, I will admit, aside of some of the scenes, I would give Star Wars Episode 1 a 8.5 out of 10. And yes, I did watch it when I was a kid, a few times in the movie theaters. And at that time, I have to admit though, at that time I had like some weird fear of some sort that I could not watch the lightsaber fights for a while until I got into them, and then I watch them, often. But like every time there was a lightsaber scene, I had to turn my head. I don't know what that kind of fear was. I don't know. That was like some messed up fear, I will admit, because lightsaber fights are awesome. And I'm glad I got over it before episode 2 came out. I don't know, because even when I was watching episode 4, 5, and 6 around the time episode 1 was out, I don't know what it was. It was just that fear or something. I couldn't watch like Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan, Darth Vader versus Luke, and Darth Vader versus Luke. It's, I don't know. It was weird, but for the most part, I've seen it multiple times, and I think all the actors did great upon their roles. I don't know why there was a lot of hate towards Jake Lloyd for young Anakin Skywalker. Yes, it's kind of nice to actually see a young Anakin Skywalker, but for the most part, I don't understand the hate against it. Yes, maybe he did his best at the role that was given him. And yes, I will admit, at that time, there were some lines and some scenes between these 3 movies that were kind of iffy, but at the same time, it still developed a great story of, how Anakin became Vader, how Obi-Wan became, hidden on Tatooine and stuff like that. How Jar Jar almost became evil. Just kidding. So, but for the most part, yeah, these are, these are my thoughts and opinions on, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I've loved the movie. Like I said, it's 8.5 out of 10 on my scale. So that's good always to see, more stories develop and more characters. Like, yes, they're bringing out new Star Wars movies, and I will admit, not as good, but I will get to those when the reviews come. Except Rogue One. Rogue One's good. But anyways, yeah, I'll get to the reviews when that time comes. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys let me know what you guys' opinions on, Star Wars Episode 1. What did you like? And don't go on what you hated. Look into what you liked about the movie. What did you like? What characters did you like? Also, one of my favorite Sith of the movies, Darth Maul, was in the movie as a great lightsaber. So it's awesome to see these characters defined and brought about, and how Darth Sidious became Palpatine, Emperor or Senator, and then Emperor. So, it's great to see that. So yeah, let me know what you guys liked about Episode 1 in the comments below. And again, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and share, subscribe, and you guys have a wonderful day.